I suppose I've thought really carefully about this question, and I think it's got to be about one thing, which is that it's a big issue in my constituency. Pregnant mums have to do a return trip of over 200 miles to give birth, and in the middle of winter in the wilds of the Highlands of Scotland, that can be frankly very, very dangerous. And that's what I'm going to raise with the Prime Minister. Now, the problem I've got is that this is a devolved matter. This is the Scottish Government that's letting us down. And if the Prime Minister says, I'm afraid that's devolved, I can't answer it, that's not a helpful reply. I hope, however, that she will say something supportive of my campaign to stop mums having to make this sort of journey. And actually, it's a tragedy waiting to happen. And so it's a pretty desperate cause, to say the least. So I'm hopeful that the PM will look on me kindly.
Mr. Speaker, owing to recent changes to maternity services in my constituency, a vastly increased number of pregnant mothers are having to make an over 200-mile return trip to give birth. You can imagine how dangerous it is in the depths of a Highland winter. While I recognise this is a devolved matter, could I nevertheless ask the Prime Minister for her advice as to how I can help sort out this desperate situation?
Can I say to the honourable gentleman, obviously he is right to speak up on behalf of his constituents in the Highlands. He's referenced the fact that health is a matter for Scotland as a devolved matter, so of course it's for the Scottish Government to make full use of their powers available to deliver the healthcare services people in Scotland deserve. I think the people in Scotland will be sorry that the Scottish Government is failing, the SNP government in Scotland is failing to deliver for them in relation to health services. And of course, this week we marked the 20th anniversary of the vote to create the Scottish Parliament, so it's particularly notable. But as the honourable gentleman takes his place in this House, can I welcome him to his place in this House? I wish him the best in his efforts, and I say I think standing up and mentioning the failure of the Scottish Government in this House is part of the answer to his question.
I think my question went as well as it possibly could have. And I must say the Prime Minister was very fulsome in her reply. She said a lot. Of course, the matter is reserved to the Scottish Parliament, and therein lies the problem. And I think it's for others north of the border to take up this issue. But I'm grateful for her clear support in the Chamber of the Commons, and it encourages me in this task of trying to sort out a really dreadful situation in the far north of Scotland, which will end in tragedy, I very much fear.